faith in Jesus be easier if we could see his face? Is seeing believing? Do we not envy those who literally sat at his feet, looked into his eyes, and heard his voice? Our morning lesson says, no one has ever seen God, but Jesus made him known in the flesh. And another eyewitness said, we have heard him, seen him, touched him. This amazing, eternal life who was with God from the beginning and who came from God and took flesh so we could trust God's grace and truth that he brought us. How much easier would faith be if we could see him for ourselves? But I wonder, the original disciples were with him for 3 years, and they admit in the Gospels that, yes, we saw him, but we did not really understand him. His death was not what we expected or wanted. And to be honest, even after the resurrection, when he appeared to us in his new spiritual body, we heard his voice. Thomas touched him, but some of us still doubted that it was really Jesus. In fact, that's how the Gospel of Matthew ends, with the words, some doubted. The Gospel of John records that his words were not convincing to everybody. Some listeners found them too hard. They walked away. At the foot of the cross, many in the crowd jeered. Soldiers mocked him. Pilate shook his head and said, I don't understand him. How can I get him out of my hair? So apparently, even in the flesh, Jesus was not completely convincing. Perhaps seeing is not believing. Perhaps we need more than hearing and seeing and touching Jesus to trust him. I want to suggest this morning that faith is based more on Jesus seeing us, seeing into our souls, rather than our seeing his face. If I knew that Jesus could look into my depths, see who I truly am and what I truly need, and then offer me saving help through good days and bad, then I would believe him. Isn't that better than seeing his face? His seeing me, understanding me, helping me become who God is calling me to be. When I try to understand myself, I invariably overestimate or underestimate who I am. Jesus, with his knowledge from God, can see who you and I really are. And if that insight comes with saving help, that can be so convincing deep down in our souls. Over the years, I have gathered descriptions of faces. For some reason, they intrigue me. From books and magazines that I've read come these descriptions, and as I read them, tell me if they describe Jesus in your imagination. Did he look like any of these? Here is one quote. His face was smooth, strong, and full of air and sunlight. His flesh and skin were firm. Another, he had great bushy eyebrows that waved like flags and cheeks that were bunched up in a beaming smile. And another face, his inner tingle translated into an outer twinkle, a steady glimmer of good-humored excitement in his face. Might those be good descriptions of Jesus? Smooth and strong and firm, a beaming smile, a good-humored excitement. I would enjoy being near him if he looked like that. And perhaps that is why he drew crowds. But I'll be honest, at my age, my soul needs more. I've been through enough of life to know that there has to be much deeper help. Listen to these descriptions of two other men. Quote, the years had marked his cheeks with experience, with laughter, with tears, with anger, and with sadness, until there was left only a vast patience. And another, the defeats of life had chastened him, and he no longer thought that he could force decisions. His work had left its mark, and his face showed a rock-like beauty, the rugged, scarred dignity of a quarry when the overlying earth had been scraped away and the stones laid bare. Now, these faces are more of a mix. Laughter, lines, yes, and beauty, but also tears, scars, anger and sadness, until there was nothing left but a vast patience. Might this be the divine patience as Jesus looks into my soul, not forcing my decisions, working with me as I learn from him what I truly need, and sadness when I don't agree with him, when I turn away, and scars when I hurt him. I need to see the scars, or a rock-like beauty from all he has been through for me. And if you and I work with him, if we cooperate with him in the maturing of our soul,